So that brings us in total.
Last day in the van.
After 14 days in the van, we are so sad for our time to come to an end, but we figured we would share some tips and tricks based on the limited knowledge that we've gained over the past 2 weeks. So this area is actually the bedroom and the sitting area, but we have just left it as a bed the entire time. It's kind of a pain to break it down and remake it every single day, and we've had really full and busy days, so it's just made sense for us to leave it as a bed.
And with that, having a table and chairs is absolutely necessary. You have to rent them separately, but this is where we've done all our hanging out and eaten all of our meals. We've used our kitchen plenty of times, and it's perfectly functional, but it is pretty small, and you have a lot more room in the kitchens within the caravan parks.
And we typically end up setting off the smoke detector. Last breakfast in the van.
It's helped our sanity a lot for everything to have a specific home, especially things that we need quick access to.
We have stored all of our clothes up here, which has been very convenient. With the packing cubes, it makes it very easy to access and super organized.
We ended up designating an entire drawer to things we use every single day. We put other things that we need quick access to, like electronics or other bathroom things, up here as well.
So we did laundry 3 times while we were in the van. It's $4 for the washer, and it was between $2 and $4 for the dryer, so about $6 to $8 per time. This one seems quite simple, but it's one that we forgot at least a dozen times. You have to make sure these little knobs are pressed in. If not, the van will quickly let you know when you're driving, and it'll sound a little something like this. Getting everything packed up. Van's all packed up and ready to go, and now we have about a 3-hour drive down to Brisbane.
We're leaving our last campsite now, and over the last 2 weeks, most of them have been really nice. We actually ended up downloading the WikiCamps app, which was $5, but totally worth it because we've used it to find all of our campsites. We ended up averaging between $35 and $45 each night, and that was for a powered site.
We just stopped off at Noosa Heads. It's about 40 minutes out of the way, but it looks like a really cool town, and I'm excited to check it out. We just finished up lunch, and now we're hanging out by the beach. Because we're returning the camper van today, we're running pretty low on groceries, so we had lunch at this really cool food court in Noosa Heads. Overall, I feel like we did pretty good on the food budget. We went to the grocery store about every 3rd day because our refrigerator is so small, and we averaged total between the two of us about $25 per day on groceries. We probably could have done a little bit better on dining out. That brought our overall food budget in at just over $40 per day for the two of us.
Driving into Brisbane is a lot different than some of the other drives we've done so far on this trip, like up in Daintree or in the Tablelands. But overall, it's a lot like driving an SUV. It gets caught by the wind a little more, and it's a little bit more bouncy, but it's been a pretty reliable ride.
We rented the 2-berth high-top camper van through Brits. I'd say it's pretty middle of the road. There's definitely more expensive options, and then there's some less expensive options too. But the total cost per day for the van was about $120, and that includes the one-way fee because we picked it up in Cairns and we're dropping it off in Brisbane. And then we also paid an additional $55 per day for insurance.
We've driven over 2,000 kilometers from Cape Tribulation down here to Brisbane, so gas is just one of those unavoidable expenses. This is our 7th and final stop for gas, and we've spent just over $400 on fuel, which comes to about $30 a day. Bye, van. Now we're catching an Uber to the hotel.
There you go. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you very much.
We just made it to our hotel in Brisbane, and to sum up the cost of the past 2 weeks we spent in the camper van, on average per day we spent $25 on groceries, about $18 on restaurants or eating out, $29 on gas, The holiday parks were between $35 and $45, so we'll just say $40 per night on the holiday parks. The camper van was $120 per day, and then there was another $55 per day for the insurance, so that brings us in total at $287 per day in the camper van. Australia is definitely not a cheap destination, and we knew that going into it, but it has been on our bucket list for years, and I would not have wanted to see the East Coast any other way. We absolutely loved our 2 weeks in the camper van. We had an amazing time, and now we are so excited for the next leg on our Australia adventure.